On June 23rd, 2022, Toyota's BZ4X and Subaru Solterra were recalled for the wheels falling off. And I thought that was one of the worst launches in my history of covering vehicles, but it may have been just eclipsed by the Blazer EV's launch. Let's get into it. Chevy issues software-related stop sale on Blazer EV. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I cover industry auto news, and I can't wait to test the Honda Prologue, which is based off of this vehicle. I want to see if it has these software issues that is forcing this vehicle to be recalled and stopped for sale. They're saying the issue is not safety-related. I don't really believe that, and we'll talk about stories why. They say it affects a limited number of electric mid-sized crossovers. Now, besides the Blazer EV having software issues, it costs starts at over $56,000. RS trim, $60,000. There is a base model coming down the line, but is anyone going to be interested after this news is hitting? So we're heading over to Inside EVs. They kind of compiled a bunch of terror and horror stories about the Blazer EV as well as other Ultium platform vehicles. Inside EVs themselves were stranded in the middle of nowhere, and I think it's Virginia. But Edmunds also is reporting insane issues as well. They've had the EV for 2 months over at Edmunds, and they spent more than 2 weeks at the dealer service department with a laundry list of problems. So one Blazer EV owner since November 27th had it 5 days. The Blazer EV, that is. The car's infotainment screen crashed and got him stuck in the same charging loop. That owner then took it to the dealer. No one knew what to do. After 2 weeks, a tech was able to reproduce the same issue, which is telling me that they're not interested really in solving it that quickly. The dealer then updated the software and bricked the infotainment engage cluster. Bricking, if you're not a millennial, if you're a little bit older, bricking means you update the software or there's some sort of issue going on with the software update and it renders the hardware inoperable. The dealership then replaced that Blazer EV's radio module. It was installed, but the technicians couldn't sync the new module to the car. So the car is still not working, and the owner isn't sure when he's going to get that EV back. Another Blazer EV owner purchased the car on November 12th. He said the infotainment screen stopped working 3 days after taking ownership. The car's been at the dealership for 3.5 weeks now, and the infotainment constantly crashes. Another owner of a Cadillac Lyriq 2023 model, similar software and infotainment issues, and he got rid of it for an Escalade V. I would do the same. If you guys missed my review on the Escalade V, it is absolutely insane. It is it's like a magnum opus to SUVs that are made in America with that supercharged V8. It's incredible. And that Lyriq owner got rid of the Lyriq mainly because Super Cruise wouldn't work. He said he's had it on Escalades in the past. Now it will disengage from Super Cruise without any reason on his Lyriq. He said there was one stretch it disconnected 4 to 5 times. One of the commenters over at Inside EVs as well with his GMC Hummer EV, he says that his truck has had 2 different charging situations after trying to charge it quickly at Electrify America stations, and he plugged it in South Carolina to a 350 kilowatt fast charger. It charged for almost 2 minutes. It maxed out at 300 kilowatts, and then the rate jumped suddenly, and then it stopped charging. He got a charge port error after that, and then the Hummer refused to charge, of course, after that charge port error. A local dealer in South Carolina cleared the codes, and it was working as normal until November 21st. So they got it fixed around October 4th. More issues started popping back up November 21st. The exact same errors were tripped again, and the charge rate would only go to about 9 kilowatts. There's a few more stories over at Inside EVs covering this, and I'm glad that they are because these issues are unacceptable for brand new, expensive $50,000+ vehicles. But there are other issues going on in the industry. If you have an EV and it gets damaged, the battery gets damaged, or somehow it goes out, and if you're liable for it, meaning the warranty, either it's out of warranty or due to certain issues with damaging the bottom of the vehicle, like one owner. These guys, so Zach and Andrea over at Motormouth have been covering this story for a while. They were quoted $60,000 to cover or to replace the battery on an Ioniq 5. Now that's Canadian dollars, but that's still what, 50,000 US dollars, something like that. That is absolutely insane. There's other issues going on as well for other EVs. This guy, also Canadian, has a 2017 Nissan Leaf, and the battery is actually covered under warranty, but he's been waiting a year and a half to get it replaced. Okay, so that's not good. Here's another one. Again, I don't know why all these are coming up in Canada. Maybe the news networks are doing a better job at covering these EV super high costs. But Electric Car Shock Ontario man told battery would cost more than $50,000. So gosh, probably around 40,000 US dollars. This is on a 2017 Ioniq. Remember, this is before there were individual Ioniq models like the Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, etc. So this was like a competitor to the Prius. They had a hybrid, a plug-in hybrid, and a fully electric Hyundai Ioniq. He bought the vehicle used around 69,000 kilometers. The warranty extended to about 160,000 kilometers. After 172,000 kilometers, ironically, the battery went out and he was quoted over 50,000 Canadian dollars. He chose to just scrap the vehicle because, of course, that costs more than what the vehicle is worth. But it's not just electric vehicles, meaning battery electric vehicles. Hybrid electric vehicles can have insanely high battery replacement costs as well. $20,000. This is a guy in Arizona with his Infiniti Q50 hybrid. Could you imagine your battery going out and having to cost that much money? Now, I have a hybrid. I'm not scared of the battery going out, mainly because it's a Prius. Now, they can go out on a Prius, but their reputation is extremely good. And same thing with Tesla's batteries. Their reputation for battery longevity is extremely good. Hey, maybe it's because they're using Panasonic to supply their batteries, both Toyota and Tesla. So they have that peace of mind. They have the right cooling. They have the right software in place to make sure the batteries last a long time. So what I'm showing, I'm not sponsored by Green Tech Auto or Project Lithium, but if my Prius battery ever goes out, I'll probably get a lithium replacement instead of a nickel metal hydride. But you can get a lot of replacements out there with warranties as low as $1,000. Now it's remanufactured, but it's still 12-month warranty. So you can get your battery swapped out, replaced on mass market hybrids for very low cost. And not only does this replace your battery, obviously, so your car will work again, but with a healthy battery, you get better performance and you get better fuel economy. And especially if you replace lithium ion from a nickel metal hydride system, this is really going to boost your EV range or EV only range in a Prius second or third gen, as well as improve performance and fuel economy. So, in the case of Motormouth and them covering the Ioniq 5 and having a $60,000 repair bill because the irony with that situation is that car drove over a muffler and it scraped the bottom portion of the batteries, and essentially the insurance company and Hyundai said it needs to be replaced. Tesla, I think, has been getting around that. I think especially with the Model S, they put some sort of really thick iron, or not a lot iron, but it could have been titanium plate. That sounds too expensive, but Tesla has figured out how to protect the undercarriage of the batteries a little bit better. And that's the thing. We are so far away from figuring out battery electric vehicles on a mass scale that buying one right now is not the smartest thing to do, in my opinion. You go do what you want, but leasing them is the best answer, in my opinion, because the technology is changing, but also the uncertainty with insurance is just insane, and insurance rates are going higher and higher for electric vehicles because even in a Tesla, if that battery pack is compromised, which is very rare on the underbody of it, but if you get in a wreck and there's some structural damage to the vehicle because a battery pack is built into the structure of the vehicle, and most of the Teslas, from a small fender bender, you can total the vehicle. And so the replacement is not really an option even. And if it was, it'd be expensive, but the whole vehicle's totaled at that point. So a lot of issues we got to figure out with electric vehicles in the coming years. I think they will get sorted out with replacement cost as well as safety. But until then, it is a gamble, in my opinion, to get an electric car. But I'm going to end it there. I'll see you guys in the comments. I love talking about electric cars. Maybe one day I'll own one, but got to figure out fast charging, got to figure out infrastructure and safety as well. But wishing you guys happy holidays, happy new year. I'll catch you guys as we bring in a new year. Thank you for being a part of the show.